And I go get an MRI on my shoulder, and my rotator cuff and labrum are completely torn. And so I'd been playing on this injury for a year, and just fighting through it. But I remember a couple of times, like I'd out injured on a Thursday or something like that, and Saturday come around, I'm on the bench, and I'm like, man, I could barely lift my shoulder. Like it's gonna be a challenge to get through if I have to go in. But anyway, so I have this surgery, and it knocks me out the whole next year. So, that one chance where I think like I'm finally going to break in, probably at a good time when I'm 26, 27 years old, all of a sudden I'm sidelined, and they have to bring in a new goalkeeper because I was injured. And they brought in they get rid of Kevin after that year, and they brought in this guy, Jimmy Nielsen, another fantastic goalkeeper and just great person. I haven't spoken to him in a while, but great friend. And I ended up being his backup for a couple more years. And 2013, we finally win the championship. And Jimmy's a big part of it. He's a great leader. I learned a lot of my leadership lessons from him in terms of like negotiating from higher up and representing the team well and stuff like that. But finally, we won in 2013, and Jimmy retired. So 2014 is my year. So I finally got my chance to start. And I remember in that preseason, we're playing someone. We're down in Orlando because we go down to Orlando and play these little tournaments for preseason. And I took this knock in my shin, and I got this like goose egg on my shin, and I didn't think much of it. And then all that fluid drained down in my ankle. And I had this big old swollen ankle that just killed. I couldn't even move my ankle. And our openers coming up, we're playing in Seattle. And but the day before, I'm trying to take goal kicks. I can't kick it out of the box. I can barely kick the ball. And I gotta start this game in Seattle in front of 70,000 people tomorrow. And I'm like, how am I going to do this? And I give it a shot the next day. I'll warm up, loosen it up a little bit. And I remember I had to, they gave me some painkillers or something like that. Nothing serious, but maybe some anti-inflammatories. I think that really helped calm it down. And I was like sweating before the game during my warm up. I could get through like the goalkeeper stuff, but I couldn't kick. And I remember like feeling my ankle, felt okay. And I took some goal kicks, and I could get them over half field. And I was like, if I can get over half field, I feel like I can get through the game all right. And I was hitting them okay, and I could get them over half field, but I like figured it out, 20 minutes before the game start. And so I go, and we have our season opener in Seattle, and we do okay. I think we lose 1-0, kind of late goal. But I got through it, and then got to kind of play through the rest of up until June. I was doing really well. I remember we came here to Portland, had a great game, ended up being player of the month in June. So I was like flying, right? Player of the month in MLS in June. And July 9th, I break my hand, my right hand. I was
that's an important thing. Like player of the month, right? You're peaking, hitting your stride with the grind that you've been on, and then break the hand.
Yeah. So I broke my fourth metacarpal in my hand. And basically what happened, I was in training, and the wheels, or the goals have these wheels on them. I don't know if you ever go see a soccer goal, a lot of them have these wheels on them. And basically they can flip down so you can move the goals easily, right? And I remember someone took a shot or a ball deflected or something, and it goes over my head. And like me, I go for everything. I'm trying to make the save, and stupidly, I try and jump and make the save. It's clearly already a goal, and I end up landing on this wheel, right on my hand, right on this wheel, and break my hand. And I remember talking to the coach after, and he was just like, "You got to protect yourself in training, man. Like you're going for everything. You have to be a little bit smarter." And it's a really good point, And later on in my career, this guy I used to play with, his name's Evan Bush, another great goalkeeper in Montreal. But he's like, availability is the best ability. And that's a great saying, because, if you knock yourself out, that's the moment someone else can take your spot, right? That's right. And that's kind of what happened, right? There's another good goalkeeper there named Andy Grunbaum, and I broke my hand, so I was out, and he took over and did well enough to keep us, in the playoff race and stuff like that. And And then he got hurt though, kind of right when it was too early for me to come back. I wasn't comfortable coming back, but he got hurt, and the only other option was this kid John Kempen, who was a good goalkeeper, but he was still maybe a little young or something like that. And so we had this Champions League game down in Costa Rica that I forced myself to play in just because I'm a competitor, and it was probably too soon, and gave up some soft goals, and then kind of finished the year in a sputter. Just didn't have my confidence and stuff like that, and after that, I was done in Kansas City. Basically, they said, thanks but no thanks. Great first half of the year, but you're not playing your best right now. So I ended up, technically, I got dropped from Kansas City and then picked up by Montreal, and Montreal picked up my contract like right after that. So they saw the potential in me and stuff like that, and they signed me up, and so I went to Montreal. But because I'd played that game in Saprissa, that's a Champions League game. Montreal was also in the Champions League, and so I was cup tied. I couldn't play in the tournament anymore. So Evan Bush played in the tournament and stuff, and had a fantastic tournament. He was lights out, and so hats off to him. He had a great tournament, but in the final, he had a yellow card accumulation. So if you get like yellow cards in multiple games, like 3 or 4 games, then you have to sit out a game. It's kind of like a red card.